This is Get Inspired with Dr. Barb show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Get Inspired with Dr. Barb podcast. I am so honored to have a special guest today, Marjorie Borreda. She's an amazing person. We have not known each other for a long time, but I think we connected right away and just kind of like clicked because we have a similar interest in animal assisted intervention. And Marjorie has her own nonprofit organization. It's called Petit Ranch. If I'm
Le Petit
correct.
Ranch. Yeah.
Here you go. Depending on what accent, if
Yeah,
it's more French or more American. Here,
exactly.
yeah, but I mean, it's an organization that has all kinds of animals. Everybody is used to, maybe many people know about therapy dogs, but your organization has also other animals. And we'll talk about that, what kind of
Yes.
animals you have on your ranch and what activities you also doing, because I know that you are innovating in the field as well, like I am trying. So I think that's why we connected so well. Welcome to the show, Marjorie.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Barbara. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very excited about sharing everything I can about what I'm doing. Both you and me are very much into collaboration
Yeah.
and sharing, and this is where we think the field is getting all the creativity and support. So very excited to be part of this project. So I'm Marjorie. I'm the founder and president of Le Petit Ranch, who is a 501c3 nonprofit. It's currently operating from Switzerland, but moving to the Berkshires, Massachusetts in the coming weeks.
In the
We
coming
are,
weeks. So that's
yeah,
going to be very soon. So
yes,
basically, from Switzerland, you just going to come over to United States,
yes.
and that's what the ranch will be. And I just lost you for a moment, but you're back. That's a good thing. And I know you're also going to teach us a special activity. So this is so inspiring and so wonderful, because hopefully, maybe we will have more organizations like you. That would be just so wonderful. Can you tell us what kind of activities then you would provide
Yeah.
to the public? Who would be involved? Thank you.
Yeah, so different kind of activities and different kind of animals partners. Really, everything is very personalized based on the objectives and the different needs of the community. We are very anchored into the local community, understanding what makes sense for them instead of coming with a program or
Yeah.
just a menu. So we have a lot of educational activities in school or after school or camp, very much targeting towards like kids and really helping for reading, writing, but also social skills, science, also dog bite prevention. Knowing, we really believe that learning about animals, interacting with animals are also preventing while injecting a lot of creativity and new interests. So a lot of educational activities in school with dogs, but also with chicken and guinea pigs, out of school at the ranch with the miniature horses. I am a facilitator of horse-powered reading certified, so a lot of reading, writing in English and also in French. Learning a new language
Wow.
is tough. So going through it with animals, especially because people are shy about learning new languages and talking out loud about it. So learning everything about French culture and French language with animals is also something that we will offer, and also, of course, opening to the rest of the family. Often people come with the kids, or we start at school, and then the whole family is involved, and also seniors. So visiting nursing homes, senior center, also a lot of visiting at-home seniors who are suffering from loneliness and working on their cognitive skills and physical skills. So really depend on the need of the community and just what will make sense.
And I absolutely love it, because I think what really like grabbed my attention a lot when we were talking about what you're doing, the connection between therapy animals, but working with children and also working with senior citizens. And I know that you were actually doing something really special because it wasn't like bringing animals to interact with children and also separately bringing animals to interact with seniors. And that's what really is happening. That's what I see in the United States, just from what I hear. I don't hear everything, but from what I hear, but you were doing something really, really cool because the kids and both kids and animals had a chance to go to the senior citizen facility. Could you tell us a little bit more about it, how it started? Because I think this is really, really super cool.
Yeah, so it started that I have this class at school on a weekly basis. I'm coming with the dogs, and we have a lot of educational activities. And in parallel, they were going to nursing home with the school. And then the school was saying, like, something is really happening with the animals. Would you be open to bring them to the nursing home when we go with the kids? And would you be open to do something around that? And I thought it was wonderful because it's giving a different depth with kids. They already know the dogs. They are super happy to share them with residents. They are very confident. They want it's almost their dog, the dog of the school. So we go on every Tuesday afternoon with the dogs and the 12 kids, and we visit a group of 14 residents, so 14 between 14 and 20. It's becoming very popular.
Yeah.
Um, and it's not only petting, it's also a lot about like asking the kids go to the residence, ask them to launch a cube with numbers, and then they read together the number and they do some math together, or they read stories about the dogs, or they talk about what they like about the dogs to the seniors. And also we have this amazing game of like who's who. So
Yeah.
I'm hiding a lot of toys for the dogs among the residents. They usually like hide them in their jacket or something, or inside the wheelchair. And then I say to the kids, so you need to find the bear. It's a woman, and she has a pink jacket and blue sneakers and white hair, which doesn't really help. And then they need to find the one resident and go and practice to ask directly to the resident if she can give the toy, and it's really giving some nice one-to-one interaction while being very funny for the residents. They are very focused. Is it going to be my turn? And for the kids too. A lot of great interaction and activities while being very educative. So the program is working so well that now the nursing home is asking me to do it with other school and other kids, and just kind of rolling out more.
This is incredible. And I hope when our episode, the episode with you comes out, it will be published. I would like to share it in some therapy dog groups on Facebook because I think this is really so cool. And like the system works the way it works, but sometimes just somebody just asks a question, hey, can we do something different? And all it takes is just two people, two sides talking to each other and just trying, right? That's what we do. We just trying and see how it works. You never know if the idea will work. It might not, but you just need to try. And I think this is amazing because it just really helps connecting children with older society too. And that's what we need. We need to
Yeah.
see empathy built with children. How do you do it? I mean, you can talk about it, but it's not the same as actually taking them to this
Yeah.
facility, having them interact together with animals. I think animals just connect everyone. So this is
Yeah.
what you're doing. I mean, this is like a super innovation to me. So I just absolutely love it. Can you tell us about something? I'm sure you have a lot of moment from your practice when something worked, resulted in, I don't know, better learning. It really impacted someone who interacted with your animals. And you just kind of remember this moment, and if you could share this moment with us.
Yeah. So there is so many moments,
Yeah.
but I would say around fear. So when I started, some parents were, when I started the class, out of 12 kids, I would say at least 3 or 4 were labeled as they are very scared of dogs. So good luck. We will see what's happening. And I was like, okay, my mission is not for them. It was not a one-to-one session, or like it's very educational. But after literally like 2 or 3 sessions in the group in class, but that was not focused on fear of dogs whatsoever. It was focused on creating a bond, reading stories and learning. What is a dog? What are the attitudes of the dog? Like, how do dogs interact with each other? It was a lot of knowledge and also a lot of fun and play and games and like flavor championship, what kind of things they're going to eat, whose team is going to win. After 2 or 3 classes, after 2, 3 weeks, September, the parents came back to me and said, it's wonderful. Until before you started, my 2 daughters, we had to cross the street every time we saw a dog. Literally, like we could not visit friends who had a dog. It was really making an impact in our family life because our 2 kids somehow were extremely scared. Since you started, they now come up to people and ask to pet their dogs. They are teaching us about dogs. One wants to become a vet. They were
Yeah.
they were just saying like we
Yeah.
cannot believe it happens, like all like just our life changed. And it can be as dramatic as that, or just some family dynamic. The grandparents had a dog and the visit at the grandparents were complicated because the dad is
Yeah.
afraid of the dog, so the kids were afraid of the dog, but the grandparents are not happy with people being afraid of their dog, so a kind of tension. And then the grandparents came to me for another kid and said, you change our family dynamic. Now the kids are coming during the weekend and
Hmm.
they teach us about the dog, and the dad is now more open to it. So this really made a difference for them. And it was not the objective. It
Yeah.
was not necessarily expected. And it was the first big feedback I got from them very quickly. And I thought it was wonderful because just the
Yeah.
life is changing for them.
But that's amazing because when you try these things and you engage, you help with this engagement in animals and people, there are a lot of things, effects, impacts that are totally unexpected. And this
Yeah.
idea of making these large life goals, like I want to be a vet. I remember in our activities, we had kids, I want to be an author and I want to write like 1,000 books. They were serious about it. And it really gives them all kinds of ideas, even for their own future. I mean, this is really cool. And
Yeah.
they build in learning empathy. So this is absolutely amazing. And I think was a very powerful activity that you mentioned and result. I mean, the whole family got
Yeah.
changed.
Yes, the whole family came, and two
Yeah.
different families, from the grandparents to the parents, saying it changed. And also so many times you also like with the miniature horses, parents come with one kid or the siblings, and we end up that the session are actually parents in the arena and they don't want to leave, and the kids are just like playing on the side. It was fun. They brushed some pony, whatever. And the parents are, because we do a lot of liberty walk and breathing exercise with the miniature horses, not parkour, just a
Yeah.
lot of connection. And they were the one in need of connection. The kids were fine. They thought
Yeah.
it was a fun activity, and that's actually the parents who quickly said, "Can I try? Can I try?" And they actually like step into the arena, and they are like, "I never thought I will do something like that. I never thought I will connect with the horse." Often, right now with my horses, they come for the kids, and the parents actually are doing the session. So again, it's things I didn't expect. And this is
Right.
not happening with the dogs. You know, it's different based on the setup and the animals. So very cool. Now I'm like, okay, so maybe
It's
there is something
amazing.
there.
That's why I think it's important to really have a variety of therapy animals. Sometimes, and they all different, right? Interaction with horses is. I never interacted with a therapy horse. I would love to. It's going to be different. It's going to be outside, most likely, right? But then it gives kids a chance to be outside. Actually, this is a
Yeah.
really cool thing. I mean, in schools, a lot of learning everything and sometimes even how kids spend the recess, it's all inside, it's all
Yeah.
indoors. So bringing therapy animals, that would just really change the environment, learning, get the kids outside. I mean, if you just move around a little bit, you already feel a different, you just feel different, right? Movement changes our
Yeah.
how we feel. And the same happens to children. So it's like, it would be really awesome to have. I hope that you will give some ideas to some other. Um,
Yeah. And I would also say
yeah.
I'm walking the dogs, both the dogs and the miniature horses, most of the time when it's safe, they are in liberty. And it's also removing this kind of pressure on don't pull on the leash and don't do that.
Yeah.
There is, by example, for the horses, we are very used to don't go behind the horse and don't pull and take on the lead or move right and move left or this kind of things. I'm removing all of that. The horse is in liberty. He does whatever he wants. So of course, there is some security, safety, but it's also removing from the parents the need to say, "Don't do that, don't do that." And
Yeah.
it's the same thing in the classroom where I work. The horses are free in the classroom, so they come based on the activities, and there are two, so it's a good thing. Like usually they don't interact at the same time, because some loves pets and the other one loves treats and the other one loves books, and so it depends. But they are all, even at the nursing home, they are also free. So most of the time, because I also want to teach the patients, the beneficiary, the kids, the adults, it's a choice, because
Yeah.
otherwise the moment you have a lead, you are in control, you have different type of interaction, and it's also giving them different type of discussion, and for the kids to understand that you need to let her go. Right now she wants to do something else. It's also teaching
Yeah.
them a lot about boundaries and
Yeah.
respect. And I tell them, would you like someone to force you? Would you prefer in the classroom that you can stand and actually do
Exactly.
something? And they usually say, yes, we would
Mhm.
love to be able to do that. So it's a lot of good discussion.
A lot of learning happens, learning that is not in, curriculum, books, but really we should take it into consideration because this area of kindness, well being, United States, it was not as much pronounced here. I mean, the focus was all on academics, but academics alone, disconnected from other areas of life, and especially for children, is just not working very well. So I hope that these kind of activities will be more and more common slowly and responsibly, because animals have to be handled in responsible
Yes.
ways. And I
Yeah.
would like you, if you could, I know that you have activity for us to teach us. And let's see if somebody's watching now or just listening, because we'll have all different kind of preferences here. And it's a teacher who maybe has a therapy dog team coming already, or it's a therapy dog team looking for a new idea. I would like them to be able to just hear what you say and just do it tomorrow, let's say, in the class.
Yeah. So one of the activity I came up with recently, in collaboration with a teacher. So every week I'm talking with a teacher to
Yeah.
understand what are they learning, because there is different ages in the classroom from 4, 5, and 6 years old. So they have different learning curve. And she was telling me math, different type of thing, and she was telling me, oh, we mentioned how to measure, how to weight.
Yeah.
So I created this activity called measuring tape. So I came with soft measuring tape for the activity, and I created a team of three. So one kid is having one side of the measuring tape, the other kid the other side of the measuring tape, and the third one has a paper with the shape of the dog, and say, okay, we are going to measure the leg. So the two others are measuring with the measuring tape the leg. They give the number as much as they can, and then the other one needs to write the number. So 25 centimeters, sorry, it's European measurement, but 25 centimeters for the leg on the paper. Then they do the back, then the round around the belly, the tail, and this kind of thing. So it was, then they are rotating jobs between measuring, reading the measures, writing the measures, identifying on the paper the body parts from that they were measuring. It was a lot. It's very simple. It's one measuring tape and teams of kids, but it's actually collaboration,
Yeah.
team spirit, math, a little bit of science, and also cognitive comprehension, understanding of the shape and the body, the real body of the dog. And it was, and a lot of writing skills. So it was a very good activity, very simple, but actually bringing a lot of objectives. And the teacher were very happy with it, and they talked about it in some class too, in other classes after. And we are going to do something similar with weight. And every time they are introducing new notions, new topics, we are finding a way to make it real with the dogs.
That's awesome. So actually it's very would be very easy to modify it in any way. I like the spirit of collaboration. So if there is a group of children, they can, right? They have just one tape measure and they need to work around it. Like, okay,
Yeah.
who's going to measure first? And what do we measure first? And why? And then figure out way of then just writing it down and making those decisions, right? What do we measure next? And then it's just a matter of what do we do with these measurements? Do we add them up? Do we subtract? So there's like
Yes, exactly.
sky is
Yeah.
the limit depending on like what types of math facts, math activities we want to practice with kids. It's so simple, isn't it?
Yeah, and this is example for dogs, but then if you bring chickens or guinea pigs, then you talk a lot about how much do they need to eat veggies. You cannot just
Yeah,
give unlimited veggies to guinea pigs, they are going to be sick. So let's wait. Let's cut the carrots,
right.
let's weight the carrots, let's count and then you are in charge of weighting, you are in charge of cutting, you are in charge of putting it on the chart so we are sure we gave the right amount for each guinea pig, which one is eating what. So
Yeah.
this is an example of dogs with measurement tape, but then for weighting you can have the same thing and you can do with different animals. So it's whole collaboration and being a little bit creative about it.
It is. And learning also about like what animals eat and why, what's in food and what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
There's so many learning here benefits, and you can go in all different ways with
Yeah.
these all different directions. I love the activity. Thank you so much for sharing. And I don't think we talked about it, but if you could tell us what kind of animals you have, we already mentioned throughout the conversation. So what kind of animals do will you have in that ranch? Uh,
So we have two Spanish greyhounds
yeah,
rescued from Spain. So they were not meant to be therapy dogs whatsoever. They were meant to be rescued and
yeah,
live a good life. And it just turned out that they are doing an amazing job despite the hardship they had in their life, which is also making them connecting with the kids very well
wow,
because they have such a sad story. And so we have these two dogs and we have two miniature horses. We will have a little bit more on the ranch because we believe in the power of the herd. So
yeah,
we will have today we have two, but we are growing the herd for four. So it's something very powerful to be in the herd to understand the power of the herd. And miniature horses have a very playful personality.
yeah,
And then we'll have chickens, French named chickens, and from Henriette and Antoinette and Baguette and all the different chickens. Chickens are amazing for all math activities and
wow,
counting and science. And it's also just bringing a lot of memories for seniors. They love chicken. They love to pet chickens, and there is so many different
wow. I
colors.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's actually like touching their heart a lot. They talk about the eggs and their
Yeah,
parents, and so chickens and the guinea pigs because they are very loud. A lot of things you can do with building obstacle course and cutting veggies, and a lot of
wow,
after work exercise with a guinea pig. So all animals have a different, you know, uh, partnership, but
yeah.
it just happens of depends of what works for everyone. You never know. I didn't ever expected adults to be so connected with miniature horses. So
Yeah.
seniors with chicken. So you never know what's good.
It's
You know, you
totally
never.
unexpected, but then, yes, I mean, that's why to have a variety of animals is really, really cool to be able to do that. Different therapy animals, guinea pigs, they're, I don't know much about them, but I think they're very, like you said, they're very playful. So it's just different
Yeah,
interaction with the miniature horse. And some of them more inside, some of them you can bring
yeah.
inside. Chickens probably more outside.
No, I mean you
No?
actually can bring them to nursing homes, and they are like
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
sitting
I was
on the
thinking
lap.
about it.
Oh
Wow.
no, they are some breed are like
Yeah.
pet. They just like they want to be pet. They have like variety of colors, which is amazing for
Yeah.
cognitive stimulation
Wow.
for seniors. So chicken was a big haha moment for me
Wow.
in my
Totally.
training. I was like, oh
Wow.
really? Okay. Wow.
That's amazing. I mean, it's not a big animal, so it's not difficult to bring the
Yeah,
chicken,
exactly.
and it just kind of chicken stays. around. I think it's just a matter of probably sort of telling um, the seniors, whoever is interacting with chickens, like what you can do and what you
Exactly.
shouldn't do. And
Yeah.
they'll be
Yeah.
very careful. And I noticed also too, and kids too, they listen very carefully because they want
Yeah.
to make sure that that therapy animal comes back. So they want
Yes.
to make sure that they will not do anything that they're not supposed to. So
Yes.
it's a very so they learn very quickly. I love that. And I can't believe it, it's already almost half an hour. And we would like to ask you if there is anything else you would like to add, if it's a message to teachers, therapy dog teams about this incredible practice, and also where exactly we can follow you to support you on which social media platform where you are out there.
Yeah. So I would say few words. I think it's all about collaboration. It's animal assisted intervention is not someone who come and decide from A to Z what to do and people
Yeah.
just take it. I believe extremely strongly about collaborating with the teachers, educators. I want to understand what are their value for their school, the objectives, like what are the core of what they want to achieve. And everything I'm doing is in very strong collaboration with colleagues like me. I invite a lot of therapists at the ranch here. I want feedback. I want them to see the session. I want them to interact with my animals because some of them. Yesterday, I had one. She just bought a horse. She interacted with my miniature horses, and she's like, "I'm going to have a miniature horse too." And
Wow.
it just. I think it's all about collaboration. The second word will be creativity. I never thought that our job will be so much creativity, like, and it's wonderful because I had 15 years of another job before. I was a digital marketer. I
Yeah.
was doing advertising, and creativity was very strong for me, and I didn't want to lose it. And I was like, ah, we will see. And it's actually even more creative than I expected
So you didn't lose
because
it.
I didn't lose it. I'm
Yeah.
even, using
Yeah.
it even more. So creativity is not a word that we are using too much, I think, in our world, and we should, because we should be recognized for all these innovations that we are bringing and creativity to adapt. These will be the two words, and also unexpected. Like you never know what's going to come out. You never know, what the feedback will be. You never know what the parents are going to say, what the teacher is going to say. I got a lot of reviews from the parents and the school, and they all said, we thought it was petting an animal. It's much more, and we didn't
Mm.
expect it. So really, this kind of expectation and unexpected is one of the words I think it's very interesting. Like you need to be comfortable with, like, you don't know what's going to happen, and this
Yeah.
is where the beauty happens when you are open to that.
I love this because this will give something to think about. It's not just like having a petting zoo or something,
Yeah,
but there is so much that's happening as a result of interacting with the animals and as a result of how animals influence interaction that people have with each other.
yeah, yes.
Totally, totally incredible. I think it's like a research paper right there.
Yeah, I think there is still a lot to learn.
Yeah,
And if we all work together and exchange, I think there is still a lot to learn. And yeah, I have an Instagram account, Le Petit Ranch. I have a Facebook
yeah,
account, a Facebook page. I have a website, www.lepetitranch.com. I have a very strong French accent, so maybe it's easier when it's written than when I say it. Website, Facebook, Instagram. I have an email, info@lepetitranch.com. So many ways to contact. Everything will be
yes.
always personalized and discussed and collaborative and creative and unexpected.
That's amazing because I could imagine, and we also will include those links in the show notes when you send me the links in email after the show, whenever you have it sometime this week, over this weekend. I would appreciate that. And I think some people might have some questions as far as like, how did you start your
Yes.
organization? I think that's the kind of questions you will need to expect you're going to get. I mean, I don't think I'm going to start, but I'm so curious myself how that happened, and that's almost like another episode, but you might have some people interested in that. So I would appreciate everyone follow Marjorie, and then once you do that, then you can reach out in the DM or email and ask the question, and maybe even it will spark a collaboration, because that's what happens with those collaboration. You just never know.
Yeah, I agree. And it's the more we learn from each other, the better it will be for everyone.
Totally.
And especially between equine and dog, it was very separate before. I think the more we share about all different types of animals, we can learn a lot from each
Right.
other. Even if we are not horse people or not dog people or not chicken, who is a chicken person? But we can still learn a lot
You
about
can
them.
end up being a totally chicken person.
Exactly,
And
and you become like me, a Parisian becoming a chicken person. So who knows?
I think if I had a chance to interact with all these therapy animals, I would become all of them. Just love animals. But thank you so much. I think this was a wonderful episode, and it just has so much information, ideas, and maybe it will spark something among people who would like to do something more and maybe start this kind of organization and maybe collaborate with you. I see all kinds of possibilities here. Thank you so much. And thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody. And make sure you follow the show so you stay always updated and connect with Marjorie. And see you in the next episode, everybody. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Thank
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
This is Get Inspired with Dr.